What you're seeing, man, in these comedy beefs are people who aren't where they used to be. It's only coming really from a few people.
In a bid to intimidate Monique and Katt Williams, it appears that Steve Harvey has fired back with what some are interpreting as thinly veiled threats in response to their allegations. However, much to Harvey's dismay, these two comedians aren't backing down an inch. So what exactly did he say, and how did Mo and Katt respond? Last Friday, the airwaves buzzed with the latest drama, as Harvey, the seasoned comedy veteran, took center stage to dish out some piping hot takes on the tumultuous world of comedy beefs. It was a moment that had fans and fellow comedians alike leaning in, eager to catch every juicy detail. With a knowing tone, Harvey wasted no time diving into the heart of the matter, addressing head-on what he saw as a troubling trend in the comedy community.
I want to address what's being labeled as comedy beefs. This thing that's going around now about comedy beefs, it's only coming really from a few people.
He didn't mince words as he dissected the phenomenon, pointing out that only a select few comedians seem to be embroiled in these messy conflicts. He singled out 85 South, the rising stars of comedy, as an example of those steering clear of the drama. "Ain't beefing with nobody," he declared, his tone implying a level of respect for their commitment to the craft. But Harvey didn't stop there. Oh no, he went further, peeling back the layers of this comedy beef onion to reveal the bitter truth lurking beneath the surface. "What you're seeing, man, in these comedy beefs are people who aren't where they used to be," he added, and then came the bombshell. Without naming names, Harvey dropped a bombshell, hinting at his own illustrious career as a headliner in the comedy scene since 1995. "There has never been a question as to who's headlining the show because it's put in my contract," he revealed, his words carrying the weight of a seasoned pro who's seen it all. Harvey didn't shy away from sharing some insider secrets either. He pulled back the curtain on his time on the King's Account comedy tour, revealing the unspoken rules that governed the lineup. Each comedian would headline their own hometown, he divulged, painting a vivid picture of the hierarchy within the comedy world. Bernie headlined Chicago, Cedric ruled St. Louis, and DL closed out Los Angeles, each comedian commanding their own domain. But of course, no tale of comedy beefs would be complete without a dash of controversy. Harvey recounted a particular stop on the tour in Baltimore, where Chris Tucker joined the lineup. The promoter, eager to capitalize on Tucker's star power, wanted him to close the show, much to Harvey's chagrin. Harvey admitted that as long as he got paid, he didn't mind anything. In any case, Steve Harvey has been quite keen in responding to all the allegations that are being made against him on Club Shay Shay podcast. For context, Katt Williams certainly shook the table with his appearance on Club Shay Shay on January 4th, but he saved most of his vitriol for Steve Harvey. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had, he said in the interview. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit, and then he gets this high-top fade making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit, he continued. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same end that hated on Bernie Mac with this same thing. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asked for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have range. Following this, Williams also revealed why he turned down a role in the original Kings of Comedy. I know the truth. You think Emma let you ish on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last was because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour, Williams added.
And y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it. 'Cause you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest.
Meanwhile, Monique has also voiced her distaste for Steve Harvey's complacency with the industry in blackballing comedians. You see, during an interview on Harvey's Steve talk show, the comedian and actress said she and her husband and manager, Sydney Hicks, got labeled as difficult for pushing back when the producers of Precious asked her to do more Oscar campaigning. I said one word, said Monique. I said no to some powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels, and I said no to Lionsgate. The difficulty came when people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve Harvey on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. The comic added she felt betrayed when Harvey publicly criticized her without speaking to her first.
And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was?
I start seeing commercials with my mother and my father and my other brother, who used to be my manager, who knew the fear that I had of the brother that was up on stage, Monique recalled to Sharp. Monique claimed that Oprah did not tell her that her other family members would be on the show. Monique said that she eventually confronted Winfrey at a party and said Winfrey apologized and claimed that Monique's family showed up on the day unexpectedly. Monique also told the Club Shay Shay podcast that her family also called the former The View co-host Barbara Walters to appear on the talk show before they spoke to Winfrey, but Walters rejected them. She said, "Monique, I told your family I can't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. You just won that award. Why would I do that?" Monique said of Walters, who died in December 2022. Monique added that she would have shut down the Oprah interview if she knew her mother would be involved. "We never talked about my mother being there," Monique said. "Oprah and I had a private conversation about our mothers. This is the part people don't know. I shared with Oprah Winfrey what we were going through and how I felt," she added. "But you don't tell me you have my mother and my father on your show, and you think that that's just okay?" In any case, Monique would soon begin to feel the effects of speaking up against Hollywood elite. Soon, there was a pattern that felt like a coordinated effort to blackball her from Hollywood, an effort she suspected was spearheaded by Winfrey and Tyler Perry, who later admitted to Monique that he had started a rumor that she was difficult to work with. Unbeknownst to Perry, Monique said, she had recorded his confession, but when she showed it to people, she said they were more troubled by her unauthorized recording than by Perry's behavior. "How does a black woman win when you say, 'Here he is right here'? And I look to the community and say, how long do we allow us to keep being exploited, used up, taken advantage of because we think somebody can give us an opportunity?" she asked Sharp. "If we keep operating like that, Shannon, you're going to have a whole lot of us sitting right here in this same seat almost telling the same story." She clarified that the recording was legally obtained according to the state's laws. Despite this revelation, Monique noted that Lee Daniels stood out as the only individual who offered an apology for the turmoil she endured. Furthermore, Daniels had even extended an olive branch by casting her in his upcoming horror film, The Deliverance.
That's a true friend that's saying, "I love you so much that I want to make sure that's not on your heart or your conscience. Let's fix it. Let's make it right."
Nevertheless, the damaging rumors propagated by Perry and others had a profound impact on Monique's career trajectory. She lamented, "If I were a white woman, my name would be Melissa McCarthy," pointing out the stark contrast in opportunities between her and the prolific white actress who seemingly lands new comedy projects with regularity. The disparity in opportunities left Monique's interviewer, Sharp, visibly stunned and speechless. Monique proceeded to shed light on the financial injustices she faced, particularly in relation to her work on the sitcom The Parkers. Despite starring in 110 episodes of the show, which reportedly generated a staggering $800 million in revenue between 2004 and 2009, Monique revealed that she never received any compensation. She likened this apparent lack of financial transparency to the dubious accounting practices that often leave successful projects like Men in Black in perpetual financial deficit. The injustice continued as Monique recounted a recent incident involving her former co-star Countess Vaughn, who was reportedly being convinced by unnamed parties that The Parkers had not generated any profit. This revelation highlighted the ongoing struggle for fair compensation and transparency within the entertainment industry, particularly for Black artists like Monique, who have historically faced systemic barriers and discrimination. In any case, this is not the first time that Mo has called out these elites. In an emotionally charged and unfiltered interview with T.S. Madison, Monique bared her soul, revealing the intricate webs of power dynamics and systemic challenges she faced in Hollywood. The conversation unfolded with Monique recounting a pivotal exchange with Tyler Perry, a towering figure in the film industry. She vividly painted the scene, describing how Perry allegedly attempted to coerce her into campaigning for an award nomination without any contractual obligations. Monique's recollection of Perry's words was chilling. "You may want to campaign for this because if you get nominated, your next film will be $3 to $5 million. In response, Monique's defiance was palpable.
I said, "Tyler, look at me. I'm a black woman. Where they do that at? Those aren't the salaries that we're going to get."
Her refusal to bow down to Perry's expectations highlighted the stark disparities in opportunities and compensation faced by Black women in Hollywood. Monique's unwavering stance underscored her commitment to principles of fairness and equity in an industry rife with inequality. As the interview progressed, Monique delved deeper into the fallout from her refusal to comply with Perry's demands. She spoke candidly about being labeled as difficult to work with, a characterization she vehemently refuted. Monique revealed instances where both Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey allegedly contributed to perpetuating this narrative, despite evidence to the contrary. "Now here comes the blackball," Monique declared. "She's difficult to work with. Her and her husband, they are difficult people. So now nobody's going to touch Monique because Oprah Winfrey said nothing." The repercussions of being branded as difficult reverberated throughout Monique's career, impacting her opportunities and professional relationships. Despite her undeniable talent and contributions to the industry, Monique found herself marginalized and sidelined, a casualty of systemic discrimination and bias. In a pivotal moment during her interview with T.S. Madison, Monique shared the reactions of prominent figures upon hearing a tape recording that seemingly vindicated her claims against Tyler Perry. The responses from Al Sharpton and Kevin Hart shed light on the complexities surrounding Monique's ordeal, offering insights into the dynamics of power and accountability within the entertainment industry. When Al Sharpton heard the tape, Monique recounted his immediate condemnation of Tyler Perry's actions. "That man is wrong, and you're like my daughter, so I'm going to have to call him up." Sharpton's response underscored a sense of familial loyalty and a recognition of the injustice inflicted upon Monique. His willingness to confront Perry on her behalf exemplified a form of allyship and solidarity crucial in navigating the challenges faced by Black women in Hollywood. However, the situation took a surprising turn when Perry seemingly changed his stance after further discussions. Monique recounted the sequence of events. "He called back while we were on the phone and said, 'No, I changed my mind. I will meet with Monique, but not with her husband.' And then she has to apologize to me and Oprah Winfrey for saying that we had anything to do with ruining her career." This abrupt shift in Perry's position left Monique baffled and questioning the sincerity of his intentions. The demand for an apology added another layer of complexity to an already fraught situation, further complicating efforts to reconcile and move forward. In any case, Steve Harvey is not the only one who has clapped back at Monique for exposing him. D.L. Hughley also gave his take on Monique's interview, and it's probably safe to assume that the feud has reignited between the two comedians. In a 4-minute Instagram reel, Hughley ripped into Monique, making allegations that the actress-comedian has an estranged relationship with her family and keeps her husband, Sidney Hicks, on her payroll. "Welp, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier," Hughley began. "It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go nowhere. She just got a weight set." He continued, "Every time I see Monique these days, she's doing some greasy-ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something." After making an unprovoked joke about Monique's weight, Hughley brought up Monique's discussion on Club Shay Shay about visiting Hughley's radio show, where she was offended by his co-host. At the time, Hughley wasn't in the studio, but Monique claimed that she called him after the uncomfortable situation. "Monique's a liar," Hughley said. "When Monique did call me, I hear her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar." It also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who's a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else that she does. She has the temerity to be offended about anything, as much shit as you say about people, he went on. Hughley doubled down, bringing up their past contract dispute and claimed that it rattled his family. "She knows the story, but what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying She knows she was lying, and it only stopped when everyone from my family checked her." Hughley claimed that Monique is estranged with her children and grandchildren before airing out her professional life. "You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes," he said. Monique, if she were to spend as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. Claiming that the Baltimore native is never sweet and warm to people, Hughley alleged that Monique is an opportunist who's only kind to butter somebody up to get something. "There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts," he said. In any case, fans are really praising Monique and Katt Williams for not being intimidated by threat and for speaking their truth. However, while speaking out is commendable, it remains to be seen if the industry will actually support these comedians who have been blackballed. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.